Okay, so I know last week I said that I'll have a store ready and open to tell you how it's been going. But the truth is, this week, I've found probably my least favourite thing to do in business so far. It's not hard, it's just tedious. Plus, there are a few roadblocks that I also ran into this week, which I'll run you through this week as well. Yes, as the title suggests, I am talking about listing products on your print-on-demand store. And seeing as I've been working my way real hard through this, trying to understand it, I thought I'd give you a good rundown this week of how you can actually list products on your own website, in case you are considering starting your own print-on-demand store. I hope I haven't put you off from what I said from the start. It can be a bit tedious, it is quite time consuming, and I think that's a testament to all business really. I know it's so easy to go into business and think it's going to be really easy. You see all these people doing really well, but what you don't see is all the hard work that goes behind the scenes. And I think I made this mistake the past week. I've been saying to you how I should have my store up and running, but what I neglected to realise was that, man, there's so much to do when you're actually listing the products. You have to write all the copy and get the pictures ready and make sure everything's ready and legal and it's all going to look okay and your customers are going to want to buy. So that's why this week I want to give you a good rundown of how it works, just so hopefully the process will be a bit quicker and a lot more easy for you, because I can share the mistakes I've made and the process I find to be the most useful. So let's jump straight into it. I'll throw you onto my computer right now. Okay, so here we are. So to start you off, last week I did share with you some tutorials that you should probably follow on YouTube, which are going to give you a good walkthrough to help you start off your first e-commerce store. And they'll give you a good rundown of actually using the plugins and starting. But here I'm just going to show you the two plugins that you mainly need just to start adding print-on-demand products onto your store. So if you go into the plugin section into your toolbar and click on Add New, and this will bring you into this search section. So the first plugin that you want to go for is WooCommerce. And when you type it into the top, that's going to be the first one here. So if you click on this and just follow the walkthrough there to get yourself signed on to WooCommerce and attach it to your store. And this is basically the e-commerce way of adding to your website. So it basically turns your website into a shop, so you're able to start adding products. And then also to add on to WooCommerce, you're going to have to use your print-on-demand store. So for me, I've been using Printful. So again, you just type it into the search. And again, it's just the top one. Obviously it said Printful integration for WooCommerce, so that's perfect. It's basically, when you're signed into Printful, your account will be connected straight to this actual website. So now, those are signed up, you want to start adding designs. Now I've been working on loads of designs on Canva. And this definitely isn't one of my finest. This is one of the few that I started off with, throwing off a few different ideas, so I probably wouldn't recommend it copying if you wanted to, but this is the one I'm going to give you the example with, just to run through the whole process. So as I showed you in a previous video, you want to have your design on a big template. That means there'll be lots of pixels ready to put onto your actual product. So when you go to actual designing the product, it won't be all pixelated when you have to expand the image. So when you download it, try and maximize the size to 3 times. And then I have Canva Pro, so I use a transparent background. But if you don't have that, then there are plenty of websites out there where you can get rid of the background. But you definitely want transparent background, otherwise you're going to have the whole box on the t-shirt, and that's just going to look super unprofessional. So click download, and then you're ready to go onto your Printful account. Once you're on Printful, you want to go into your dashboard, and then look at your product templates, and add a new template. So now, you can choose what kind of clothing that you want, what kind of clothes do you want to add it to. So here I'm just going to go simple and just look for a men's t-shirt. Now, there's loads of options, so it's difficult to say which one. Obviously looking at the reviewed stars is a very good one, because all the people that use Printful mainly are other sellers, so they're looking at it from the perspective of a seller, so you know that the products are going to get sent efficiently and in good condition. Now for t-shirts, I generally want the product to be of good quality. I want my brand to stand out and look great, so I go for the middle kind of range price here. So this is the one I tend to go for, the men's t-shirts. So now this takes you into the product template page. Now, before we go any further, I just want to stop you there for a second and just tell you to be really careful about looking out for whether your products are infringing on any copyright or trademarked areas. So I did talk about this in the previous video, but what this is make sure that the words you're using or phrases or logos aren't the same or similar to other phrases and logos out there. The best way to check this is to go through a trademark search. So there's different trademarks for all over the world, each country has their own, and I ran into some difficulty of this week. Obviously with a beach apparel store, I tried to use the word beach, just beach, for one of my t-shirts. It seemed to be appropriate, and I did a search in the UK and it seemed to be okay. But then what I didn't think, obviously now that I'm selling more to the US because it's logistically a lot easier, I didn't think to actually check the trademark over there. And then I did a search, and to my demise, there was a lot of companies using the word beach as a trademark. Now I don't know the complete rules, but from what I've heard, some terrible news about how easily people get sued over in the US, so I didn't really want to mess around with this. So this threw me straight back, and I had to spend a good couple of days redesigning some of my designs to make sure none of them are infringing on any of those copyright laws. So I just want to warn you beforehand on that one. Just make sure you're checking every term that you're using, make sure it is original to you, or at least you're taking from an idea and then adding to it to make it your own original thing. So now that once your products are ready, let's throw you back onto the computer and let's continue on with this process. You have to drop your design. There it is. That looks terrible. And then you can make some small adjustments. You can make it bigger or smaller using this just usual sort of click bar way. And just shape it to exactly where you want it. And that's the main thing you want to use in the design area. One thing to also pay attention to is the print quality. Like I said before, how important it is to have a high print quality by using a large image size to print onto the actual t-shirt. That's because when you come to here, it will give you a good recommendation. I think normally they want it to be more than 300, so 1341, obviously that's perfect. Just make it as big as possible. That's the best recommendation I can give you. So now you go into your products and you can choose the different colours that you want your t-shirt to be on. The best selling t-shirts are generally black and white, and perhaps navy blue and royal blue and red. They tend to be the better sort of selling colours from the research I've done. But obviously you can go with whatever colours you want, just match it to your target market. So I'm just going to add in a few random colours here. I generally wouldn't recommend going for any more than 4 or 5, because otherwise it will just make your site look too cluttered. Then once you're happy with that, click continue. Now you're on to the next page. It's a good idea to just label your t-shirt so you'll know which one's which now. I'll call this one Rubbish T-shirt. I don't recommend you using that title though. Don't worry, I won't be using this one onto my store. So now, at the bottom you want to click sizes, and generally when you go from extra small to extra large, these are all at the lower prices. If you go anywhere above that to 2XL, then you'll see that the price increases dramatically. So you can add these if you like. This just means that the cost will go higher, so you can either charge your customer a bit higher for that, or you'll have to just accept that you'll get a smaller profit margin if someone orders a larger t-shirt. So generally I like to just go from extra small to extra large, just to make things simpler. Then once you're happy with that, you save your product template. Now, go on and click onto that product template, and you'll go into this page where you're ready to add it to your store. You've done this process already, you've chosen the sizes and the colours. And don't worry about this section, this is where they'll tell you how the Printful company don't actually use those coloured t-shirts anymore, or at least for now. So they eradicate it automatically, so obviously your customers won't order it, and then you'll realise that you don't actually have that product to sell. So it's very good with the process of Printful, because they're very interactive with your store, so they'll give you updates and they'll help you with all the process. And then the next thing, proceed to mockups. So now you want to choose which mockups you're going to use. And generally I like the kind of plain t-shirt look, because otherwise if you've got just one person, then you'll see that all the colours are just that same person, in that same style. And then I think if someone looked closely enough, it'll be obvious that someone's just printed the same colour onto the same person and it's not actual authentic. So I think when you do just normal t-shirt mock-ups, something like this, then it looks a lot more professional and there's a lot more validity of what you're doing. So then scroll down, you can also add additional mock-ups, and these will be of different people, so you can select the ones you like. But the thing I like to do here, you'll get a lot more professional mock-ups if you go onto a website called Placeit, and it costs a little bit a month. I think it's about $15 a month, but it probably is worth it if you just use it for 1 month and then get all your products ready within that month, ready to sell. But there are some free options too. So I have a few favourites here, and I'll just go through one mock-up to show you how it's done. So, you look around and find the mock-up you want. Obviously mine's a beach store, so I want mine to be similar to that. And I know it's a male t-shirt, so it needs to be a male model who's into it. Okay, so on the image, you can obviously see here that they want you to print it onto there. It's a maximum of 750 by 1200 pixels. Obviously earlier, we were trying to print it on a really high pixel rate. So also we're going to have to make this smaller. So what I'll do is, I'll go back onto Canva, and then reprint it onto that certain size. Okay, so I've just copied and pasted it from my bigger file onto the smaller one. And now I just want to download it as a PNG, remember the transparent background, and then download it once again so it's ready for Placeit. Now I'm okay to upload this into here. And again, you just crop it to the way you want. And remember, the design has to be very similar to how the product's actually going to look. I know that it's not the actual real product that the model's wearing, but it has to look very similar, because otherwise the customers won't know what they're getting. Make sure you're giving them exactly what you're promising them. So I'm happy with that, that looks okay. I haven't completely run through it, but make sure you do when you go through this. And all you have to do next is just click download. Now, one problem I do find with this is that these actual image sizes are a little bit too big now. So we have to go back into Canva and replace the size into a 1000 by 1000 pixel image. I hope this isn't getting too complicated. Just watch this a few times and I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. Or just use the mock-ups from Printful. They're not quite as good and they're less varied. There's a great wide range of options on Placeit. But Printful will be sufficient enough if you only got a few products to use. So now, this one doesn't match perfectly into there. I'd probably try a different image because this one's just too long for this size. But you can make it work. You could just do a body shot and make it look like that. And that'll be okay. So you download it. You don't need a transparent background this time. And that image will now be ready for when you add it to your actual store. So now we've added these mock-ups. The next thing to do, just proceed to details. And here you can adjust all the things, so give it a title. And this is the actual title and the content that's going to be written on your website, so it prints it straight on. Normally here I just write the title so I know which is which, and then I'll be writing all the copy later on. And then proceed to pricing. Now, you decide your pricing. It all depends whether you're going to do free shipping or where you're shipping to, if you're going to charge shipping. And you want to adjust your price accordingly, how much you think your customers are willing to pay and what do you think is fair. So generally, I kind of think about a $4 to $5 kind of dollar profit on top of the free shipping. So that's covering all of the shipping costs and then that profit. And the shipping for t-shirts are generally about $4 on Printful. So I'd round that up to 14, add the $4, that'll be 18. So then I want to make about a $4 or $5 profit on top of that. So I'm looking at trying to charge about $22, $23 for the t-shirt, which sounds reasonable. Especially as it's hopefully a good, unique design, which you won't be able to find anywhere else. So you can just increase the price, and when you're happy with all of that, submit it straight to your store. Now, this takes about 3 or 4 minutes to load, so I'll meet you back on the website when it's ready. Great, so the t-shirt's up here now, and it's ready to sell. So you want to edit, obviously, you need to add copy and you need to get all your mock-ups on there ready, just so it's looking good and ready to sell. So you click edit, and it will take you to this section, where this is going to be the main description text, the main text where you're describing the product and what they're going to get out of it. And then this is the short description, which is going to be at the top, underneath the title. And I've already written some copy, which I'm just going to add in now. So what I'm looking to do here is just give the customer a good idea of what the product is and the feeling I'm hoping to give them. I read a good book once called This Is Marketing, and he made a really great point about how customers don't actually buy products, they buy the feeling that they think they're going to get from it. So the thing is, you want to try and invoke emotion with your writing. Make sure that you're trying to give a bit of a story and just really bring about that feeling and emotion that you want them to feel when they wear this product. So it'll create excitement and just happiness and make people eager to want to buy your product. And then for the shorter description, just give a short 1 or 2 sentences about that whole idea in the start. And then 3 or 4 bullet points, just giving a good, quick, decisive idea of what the product is, how it feels, and the service they're going to get from it. So that's the copy written up. One honourable mention also here is a mistake I made a few times. Here it says variable product, and there is a drop down box where you can select whether it's just a different kind of product where you can change around with the prices. Don't do that. Leave it a variable product. Because the trouble I had was, once I changed it, I tried to get it so I can get the products on discount and make it look all like that. But as it's connected to this Printful store, once you start messing around with things like that, that just changes up the connection, and you don't get such a fluid process. I found that my description disappeared for some reason, and it just wasn't looking good afterwards. So keep it a variable product. So copy's written, it's a variable product, and it's all looking good. Now we want to add our mock-up to the gallery. And there it is. It's on the site, and it's just going to add a bit more of a good idea to the customers of what the product's going to look like, because they can now see it on the person. And then you just choose the category that you want to link it to. If you haven't done that yet, you need to add it into the category section. Just section out like whether you're selling hoodies or t-shirts, or if you're trying to divide it between men's and women's section or children, just so customers can find these types of products a lot quicker. And then once that is all ready, just click update, and then you're ready to view your product. And there it is, the rubbish t-shirt. Hopefully yours won't be a rubbish t-shirt. But all the product images are there, along with the model wearing it, and hopefully you can add a couple more of those just to make it look great. And then the large description at the bottom. So if a customer chooses a colour and the size, and they can add it to the cart. And you can now see in the cart that the customer is able to buy your product. So now I want to give you a quick word about shipping, just to show you how that works. If you go into your WooCommerce settings, into your dashboard, and then if you go onto the shipping tab, it's all fairly straightforward really. There's actually a Printful shipping tab, so if you click onto that, if you want to charge for the shipping, so you don't want to worry about where you're going to do free shipping and all of that, then Printful automatically does all of this for you. So if you go on to enable this shipping method, and then disable the standard WooCommerce rates, that means all of Printful shipping is automatically going to be put onto your site. So if somebody from the United States clicks on and tries to buy a t-shirt, then the US shipping rate will be tracked onto them. Or if they're from Hungary, they're going to get charged for that shipping rate tracked to them. So it's just all automatically done, which is great. But if you do want to add free shipping, you need to go into the shipping zones. And here, you select a certain shipping location that you want to do free shipping for, or a specific type of shipping for. So for me, I'm doing free shipping to the US. So I selected the region as the United States, and then free shipping, and add the message to how long that's going to take, which is generally a good idea. And then for all the other locations, I left it as to enable the Printful shipping, so that handles all of the rest. Okay, so that's the main process. I hope you found that useful, and I hope you enjoyed the actual tutorial content. If you do enjoy that sort of stuff, then let me know, because I think maybe I'll do more of those videos. They seem a lot more practical and actually give you a good walkthrough area of how to actually do certain things. So if you enjoyed the video, please help me out and give it a like so more people can find this video. And if you don't know me yet, but you've been following this video, I'd also really appreciate it if you subscribe. I am sharing my journey of trying to reach financial freedom and teaching you everything I learned along the way as I test different business ideas and as I invest my money to hopefully grow passive income online. I share my weekly progress every single Thursday, and I have lots of investing and different business idea tips that go through the week. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for next week's update, where hopefully finally I'll have my actual website started, and also I will hopefully put out another stock market video, which will be session number 3 of the Stock Market for Beginners course. So thank you for watching. Talk soon.